What is up, guys? Dan from the Madden channel. In today's video, we're going to show you how to disguise your coverage with a pre-snap coverage roll. And this is a concept that you can apply to pretty much any defense in the game to make it look like any other. But first, guys, if you don't mind, take a quick second, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you guys receive a notification whenever I upload a video here on the channel. If you guys want to watch me play the game live, check me out on twitch.tv/ozano. I try to stream there every single day. We also give sub tips over there, so you guys will get exclusive content that you cannot see here on the Zan Madden YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and get into today's tip. We're going to go ahead and show you a concept. This is something that has been in the game for a good while. This is something that I've done over the last couple of years. But I think that this year in particular, with it being very difficult to pass, this is kind of something that comes back into the front of my mind. And what we're going to be doing here is we're going to show you that any play that has some sort of pre-snap movement, you can go ahead and use that as a base play call and disguise whatever you want as that pre-snap roll. So what we're going to do here, Big Dime 146, we're going to take a look at the series of plays like Okie 2, Okie Eagle 3, and Strong Corner 2 Fire. Those are all pre-snap roll coverage plays where you're going to have a safety rotate across, the other the slot corner on the backside is going to rotate back, and it's going to give you a look pre-snap. I really like this against trip sets in particular, especially if you're facing guys who love the trips tight end, they love to pass. This is something that you can do a fair amount, and I have done it over the course of this year. I typically do mine out of the dollar, but I know most of you guys really like the Big Dime 146. So go ahead and show it to you out of this. Now, we'll go ahead and set whatever you want as an audible. For instance, I think cover 4 is a really nice play that you can call. And we're going to go ahead and come out in the Okie 2 roll. Now, what you like to do is you like to figure out, is my opponent's trips on the right or the left side? I typically like to roll the coverage to whatever side the trips is on. So just kind of a tip that we're going to show you here. Now, you can see how the coverage rolls pre-snap down into a blitz look. I'm actually going to move the ball back, give us a little bit more room and get the trips over to the wide side of the field. But what you're going to notice here with this tip is we're going to be able to disguise our coverage with this pre-snap roll. You see how everybody rolls over in their coverage. You get the slot corner, Buster Skrine drops back to free safety. You get the free safety, Eddie Jackson. He rolls over and plays the safety on the trip side. And then you get this rotation of the actual safety, Clinton Dix, down into the box. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to audible straight into cover 4. Now, what you may notice is that the corner did adjust on that play. You could obviously pick up a few tells from this, but what we're banking on with this particular play here is that your opponent is probably not going to be prepared for the coverage roll. They're not going to have seen it much this year. Most players like to run the contain blitz out of DP Sting 2 Buzz. They also like to run the cover 3 Sky, and they like to set up the cover 2 Sink where they made up their running back and kind of dumb out your running back. But this is going to be a coverage call in which you see that we get a really interesting rotation. In fact, you're getting an inside quarter dropping off the line of scrimmage from the inside position over the number 3 receiver, the B receiver. If you guys don't know how to number receivers, what we're doing is we're talking about the number 1 receiver being the outside, number 2 is the middle guy, number 3 is the inside slot position. So you number outside to inside as you go up in number. X is 1, Y is 2, B is 3. So we're going to try to do that a little bit more on this channel, just for the record, try to teach you guys a little bit more of how to identify receivers. That way, when I say number 2 receiver on the wide side, you guys just know what that means. But that'll be a practice that we try to get used to over the course of the upcoming videos on the channel. So neither here nor there. Okay, so you see that here we've been able to disguise the Okie 2 roll now as a cover 4 drop. Now, obviously, with this particular defense, you've got this inside player dropping deep. What you're going to be able to do here is kind of, you see how we get this weak side rotation? You can even walk him down a little bit, walk him out over the middle in between the number 2 and the number 3 receiver. So that way he's dropping over the middle. They aren't going to be able to hike throw a seam route right at Eddie Jackson. They're not going to be able to hike throw a seam route to the inside player due to this guy. And then post routes are going to be a little bit harder to throw as well because Eddie Jackson is taking a very unique drop angle. And then, of course, you can mix in, your obvious, contain blitzes as well. This will work just like your Big Time 146 as well, where now you can kind of get involved in, if they decide that they want to, throw the ball or whatever, you're going to be able to bring the pressure. You see right there, we get kind of a double pressure look on that play. So, I don't think that we were supposed to get Leonard Floyd free on that play, but you saw how that ended up working right there. You see how he basically came in free on this rush, just basically sending, that was a 6-man rush, and we got 2 guys free right there. We'll see if we can replicate that again. I don't I don't believe that that is a normal thing. We'll go ahead and see where I was using left A gap on that play. So we'll go ahead and run this back here. Audible into the cover 4 drop right here. Then I global blitz the linebackers and we blitz this guy. So yes, this is a 6-man rush. And then obviously right here, you have the freedom to kind of take this guy. You know, you can move guys around and obviously kind of stand right here. And then I just kind of QB contained. You want to make sure that the player right here, if you're going to blitz him, you want to make sure that he's actually in the contain. So move him so he becomes the contain man. And you see right there how that guy kind of moved out of the gap. So I don't think we're going to really be able to get the same effect right here. But in general, you should be getting some sort of pressure with this look. And you see that we were able to. Now, when you actually look at the route combinations on the field, we're going to be able to defend against corner routes and things of that nature. You know, a simple shade underneath right here is going to be able to get this guy to play an out route. So you see right here, he's actually getting a jam on the number 2 receiver. But if they're throwing baby out routes to number 17, you could go ahead and shade your coverage underneath and take that away. You see right here how the drop of this zone is going to take away in breaking routes. So if they were to run a post route from either the tight end over here, which is very popular in the trips tight end meta, you know, if they were to throw a post right here, you're going to see that not only do we have a user, but we also have Eddie Jackson that can kind of take away the post cut to the tight end right here. He's also taking away the seam route to this player right here. So you're kind of in a spot where you're able to play some really unique coverage against the trips tight end. And then, of course, if they're running a corner route, you've got a guy that's going to be able to sit right on that corner route and match it as well while bringing some pretty good pressure. So this is a nice pressure look. It's going to kind of disrupt the main meta in terms of how players like to play out of trips tight end. We'll go ahead and show you again what I mean here. So now we audible into our cover 4 drop. Then you could go ahead and manually, or we're going to global blitz the linebackers. If you want to, you could drop Clinton Dix right here. You're going to go ahead and blitz him so he's in the contain. You want him containing off the edge. Obviously, you could walk Eddie Jackson down into this spot. And again, like I said, if they're throwing baby out routes on you on this play, don't be afraid to play a hard out route because, or hard flat, because what you'll notice is, again, a lot of trips tight end users, they'll go ahead and they'll do some things where, you know, they might end up running a route combination that kind of looks like this, where they run, you know, hitches and out routes is in terms of an underneath thing. So you might be able to kind of gas them up a little bit here. And then, of course, you have the luxury as well on the backside to go hard flats. You know, you could go with a cloud flat if you want to take away the tight end corner route. And then obviously, like I said, you got a lot of freedom with your user on this play. So if they decide that they want to, you know, run this, you see that we're sending 6 and getting double pressure right there against a 5-man protection scheme. Now, obviously right here, they're going to be able to block the running back. So if they go and block that running back, you know, we'll see how that kind of impacts it. I haven't really thought about really blitzing out of this defense as much. You see right here, I audible to 2-man under. That caused guys to move. So just be aware of that. If you're audibling from Okie 2 into a man coverage play, you might get some rotation. But again, right here, you're going to be able to kind of set this up. So you just go move Clinton Dix. And then, like I said, guys, if they decide that they want to throw a baby out route to the X receiver, you can go ahead and take that away. So, you know, right here, if they were to go to, you know, something like this, and they try to pick up the pressure, obviously we don't have hot route master here on this play, but go ahead and blitz the little contain blitz off the right. So here's your 6-man protection against this blitz, showing 7 here. So here's the snap. We're right there. That was kind of picked up. You see how we kind of took away the out route on the right side. Obviously the tight end corner route, you got to be prepared for that. But we have a little bit of freedom with our user. So while they can pick up the blitz, it's not so much about the blitz as much as it is kind of this numbers game where we're able to kind of, it's not really man align, but in general, we're able to kind of take away some of the main threats. A lot of people that love to run trips tight end are going to go wheel route and corner to the tight end side, or they'll put the tight end on a post. And like I said, you know, you've got 2 different zones that you can take away the post. You got our user underneath, and then we got this rotating zone from the backside when we audible into the cover 4. So that's just audibling from Okie 2 roll into cover 4. Obviously, you know, like I said, we could audible into literally anything. So if we were to go into cover 3, now we're in a situation where we could kind of do some crazy stuff with this. You know, you don't necessarily have to bring the pressure with this look either, but it is something that is available to you. Now you see in this situation, we're playing some really unique coverage. I mean, you might even, if you want, you might even put this guy into a mid-read zone. You know, you could drop this out and just run a base rush. You know, we do have edge threat out there, or you know, some sort of ability to get a nice pass rush from Khalil Mack potentially. You know, there are going to be holes, obviously. Any zone is going to have holes in the coverage. But the whole goal of this is to disguise the coverage as something else. We could go ahead and audible into, cover 2 sync now. Now we're in a spot where, yes, Buster Skrine is blitzing, but now we've got this really unique kind of coverage role. We might go ahead and do something crazy on the outside. The possibilities are very limitless with this. So if I want to, I could set up a contain blitz right here and just use her with this guy. That way, if they try to run that, we can try to bring pressure off the edge. Obviously, in this situation, you'd have to drop out. You could do a lot of different things with this. I'm not trying to show you a money setup or anything. I just want to show you the concept. Now, how does this apply to other sets in the game? So let's go ahead and take another look at something. This is something I've seen a number of players do, and I've done this myself. Any play that has a safety rotation, like a safety blitz. So say, for instance, you want to run like a cover 2 defense, but you want to take away the seams. Go ahead and make sure that you have cover 2 set as an audible and call like that double safety blitz. So let's say that you're facing like a compression based offense, right? Where they're really attacking the middle of the field with whether it be a matchup nightmare or just really high throwing streak specialists off the line, and you want to take that away, right? So you get these safeties that rotate down without having to do any manual movement, and then you just audible straight into cover 2, and they're right there in those deep halves taking away those assignments. Or if you want to audible to cover 3 or cover 4 match or regular cover 4 drop, whatever you want to do. Now all of a sudden those safeties, rather than if I were to just go ahead and call cover 2 out of the huddle, you have to manually move those safeties down, and your opponent is going to know immediately what you're doing. So if I were to call cover 2 against that same formation and they've been throwing seams on me, and I were to go ahead and we'll just do the same thing. It doesn't really matter. Pre-snap, you call the cover 2 and you want to take away the seams. Now all of a sudden you have to manually click on, drag him down, click on the other one, drag him down. And now they're thinking, okay, well, he's manually moved both those guys. He is actually worried about the seam, as opposed to us just calling that double safety blitz and making them think, okay, well, I mean, he's doing this every down and he's not manually moving anybody. So, he could be in anything. So what you're really doing here is you're just calling like a safety blitz and then always walking them down. I love to do this against compression. I find that this is an excellent way to attack compression-based sets, just because a lot of players will take away that seam or take that seam if you give it to them. So, in this situation, you could go ahead and audible into this, and now you got everybody low. They're not going to be able to hike throw anything off the line. Now you're in a situation where, you can gas up as you wish. You could go ahead and, you see right here, if we press over and over and over, the safeties will rotate back. But you could go ahead and rechange your play, audible back into the cover 2. You can do a lot of goofy things with this here to kind of mess with their heads. A lot of this pre-snap movement is just designed to give your opponent something to look at that they haven't seen all year. So, whether that's the Okie 2 roll or a double safety blitz, this is just something that you can have at your disposal. Again, guys, this is more or less a tool that you can add to your toolbox. This is not something that I'm trying to show you as a money setup or whatever. It's just something that I want you to be aware of that you can do to confuse your opponents, especially if you're facing really pass-heavy opponents, to give them something they haven't seen. As hard as passing is this year, this could be the difference between winning some more games against great passers and losing because they put in the lab work to beat a lot of the vanilla meta zones, and then obviously some of the blitz packages that are popularized this year. This is just something different. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, guys, been a pleasure. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe, drop comments below, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.